Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's webinar, Dumb Things That Smart Dentists Do. I'm really excited. This is a brand new webinar and should be lots of fun, lots of great practice building information, some learning. Hopefully we'll have some smiles along the way. So thanks so much, everybody, for joining me tonight. I'm Dr. Richard Maddow, and along with my brother, Dr. David Maddow, we are the founders of the Maddow Center for Dental Practice Success. And I'm so happy that you took time out of your evening to be here with me tonight. I know there are a million other things you could be doing, but hey, you chose to spend it here. So it's my duty and my job to make this worthwhile for you. And as I said, we'll have some fun along the way. So thanks so much for being here to be at Dumb Things That Smart Dentists Do. You know, it's funny, I was trying to put together a new webinar about a month ago because we've done a bunch with this pandemic. It's kind of like a season. We've done a bunch of these during the pandemic season. We've done them on no-shows and cancellations, on ultimate patient experience. Oh, that's David Moffitt's line, not mine. I better take that back. On presenting a great patient experience to your patients. We've done a bunch of different ones. I think 5 or 6 different ones, and I was actually thinking of some new topics, and I was sitting at my desk. I had music on, of course, and this song comes on. This song by Paul Kelly and the Messengers. They're an Australian band, not too well known in the U.S. And the song is called "Dumb Things," and he keeps repeating, "I've done all the dumb things." I'm thinking, wow, I did so many dumb things during my career as a practicing dentist. And, you know, some of them you kind of repeat 5 times until you realize they're dumb things. Some of them you realize right away. Some of them you probably never realize it. But I just thought it would be an interesting topic for a seminar, a webinar, whatever we're calling it. Because let's face it, to be a dentist, you got to be pretty darn smart. Yet we get out there in our private practices, and sometimes we do things that really don't help our cause of providing the best care for our patients, having a great cohesive team, having fun at work, and earning more money. Of course, we all want to do these things, and we just tend to maybe do some dumb things over and over again that prevent us from doing everything that we want to do. So we're going to talk about 10 of those things tonight, plus a bonus tip. It's going to be really exciting. I'm excited, and I'm just kind of watching I've got this little ticker of people joining the room, and people are still joining. And, you know, we used to be on the road all the time doing live seminars, meeting so many great dentists and team members across North America. And it really is different now that we're doing everything remotely. Hopefully we'll all be back on the road soon, but for now we're safe here at home and at your home, your office, wherever you are. But I'd like to picture everybody kind of in like a big room. And I know that you're probably all isolated from the rest of the people too, but it's just try to imagine that we're all in a big room, learning together, sharing together, having fun together, and growing our practices together, because we really need the camaraderie in dentistry. There are plenty of patients and plenty of procedures for everyone. And the best thing is if we all help one another learn instead of not sharing our knowledge and thinking that it's all competitive, because it's not. There's plenty out there for everyone. So let's all get in the spirit of togetherness. We're all in this big room together, learning, having fun, growing our practices. So let's get going. Again, I'm Dr. Richard Maddow, co-founder of the Maddow Center. Some people ask, are we allowed to chat, ask questions, whatever during the webinar? Absolutely. Let's make it fun. But if you're on your function board there, something says Q&A. I'm going to respectfully ask that you please do not use the Q&A function. It's actually a lot better if you use the chat function. So some of you on your screens can see something that says chat. Other people, you have to go to like this little ellipsis where it says more, and then a little chat box comes up. So please use the chat box and not the Q&A to make any comments. And when you do, you're gonna have a little drop-down menu giving you some options. Use the one that says panelists and attendees, because that way I'll see it. Sylvia, who's our webinar queen, who's put this whole show together, she'll see it. Somebody said they can't hear me. Can anybody else hear me? Use the chat box, let me know. Can you hear me? Are you there and can you hear me? Yes, everybody else can hear me. So, thanks so much. Wow, that's great to see. So whoever said they can hear me, I'm gonna suggest that maybe you check the volume on your device, whether it's your computer, your phone, maybe some kind of listening device you're using, turn the volume up. So, wow, So many people said they can hear me. That is fantastic. I really appreciate it. But maybe you didn't hear when I said direct your comments to panelists and attendees, because just about everybody directed it to the panelists only. So me and Sylvia are the only people that can hear that, they can see that. So please check in again. If you want to say hi, tell me where you're from. Do it on the panelists and attendees. Loud and clear, loud and clear. Everybody can hear. That is so great. So again, if you cannot, well, you probably can't hear my instructions if you can't hear me, but I'm going to ask you to check the volume on your device. Loud, wow. Should I talk more softly? Oh, cool. Now we're learning where some people are from. Smithtown, New York, Atlanta, Auburn. Auburn, I know my friend from Auburn. Toronto, Yosemite, Columbus, Cherry Hill, New Mexico. Yeah, I'm going to be speaking to your state dental association soon. I'm really excited about that. Kentucky, Boston. Wow, that's fantastic. Traverse City, Michigan. All over. Dubuque, of course. Toronto, a bunch of our friends from up north in Canada. Montreal. I haven't been to Montreal in so long. Always want to get back there and visit the home of Leonard Cohen, home of Superman. Wow, Gilbert, Haskell, Ottawa, fantastic. Well, thanks so much, everybody, and letting us know where you're from. Marion, Lilburn, wow. Okay, New York, of course. I said I was going to start with a bonus tip. I know some of you have heard this before and some of you haven't, but even if you've heard it before and you're not doing it, I'm going to say that's a dumb thing. In the spirit of our webinar tonight, it's a really dumb thing if you are paying somebody a percentage to process your credit cards, because we switched to Fat Merchant at the Maddow Center, I think almost 2 years ago, because we always like to check things out for ourselves before we recommend them. And we were so happy with not only their service and their high-tech stuff, but the way that we save money every single month that we started recommending them to dentists all over the US. I don't think our Canadian friends can use Fat Merchant yet, so hang on. Even Ken Strong from Winnipeg probably can't do it yet, but everybody in the US, you certainly can. And besides the fact that they have great customer service, et cetera, the thing we really love about Fat Merchant is that they do not charge an overage percentage. They just charge a low monthly flat fee. So of course you got to pay Visa, MasterCard, Amex, whatever. They're going to charge you a percentage, and that's the same no matter what credit card processor you use. But your bank or your current credit card processor tacks on an extra percentage. So you're paying, it's really weird, because the better you do, the more money you're paying to your credit card processor. Well, not with Fat Merchant. You pay a low monthly fat fee for their processing. You will save money every single month. It's really cool. US News just ranked them the best. They said their transaction fees are lower. They have 24/7 customer support. It's a cost-saving solution. That's not from me. That's from US News and World Report. So Fat Merchant got ranked the best credit card processor in the United States. So definitely switch to Fat Merchant like we did. Low monthly fee. You'll save money each and every month. Oh, and now, of course, just to keep everything clean, because everybody wants everything super clean these days, we've got the touch-free terminal. So you just kind of hold it out like that. The patient puts the credit card in, pulls the credit card out. There's no handing back the credit card, obviously no signing anything. It's touch-free, contact-free. Nobody passes along COVID or gross dental germs or blood or spit or anything like that. So touch-free terminals are just another fantastic feature of Fat Merchant. If you want to find out more, which you definitely should, just go to Maddow.com/save, MADOW/SAVE. Within a couple minutes, you can do everything, and you will be seamlessly switched to Fat Merchant, and you will save money every single month because you will not pay an overage percentage on your charges. Okay, that's my bonus tip. If you're not using Fat Merchant, you're probably very smart, but you're doing a dumb thing. So I don't know. I've done enough dumb things. I don't want to do any more. Just a reminder, if you want to make a comment, don't use the question and answer. Use the chat function, and be sure to address your comment to panelists and attendees. Okay, let's get going. For those of you who just came on, I see a few of you just trickled on. I'll reintroduce myself. I'm Dr. Richard Maddow, co-founder of the Maddow Center for Dental Practice Success. We have been helping dentists and team members through seminars and blogs, e-letters, distance learning, and of course, our really fantastic hands-on, one-on-one coaching, which is helping practices all across North America just have more fun, be more organized, earn more revenue, all that great stuff. So those are some of the things we've been doing, and I think I know what you all have been doing. So let's move on to dumb thing number one, and to kind of quote that old movie with Kevin Costner, I'm going to say dumb thing number one is thinking if you buy it, they will come. What do I mean by if you buy it, they will come? Well, so many dentists, you can see what I've got a picture of here. So many dentists are kind of sold this bill of goods by salespeople in the dental industry. You go to some show or whatever, somebody visits your office and they're telling you, hey, you got to get this piece of high-tech equipment. It's fantastic. It's only $80,000. You can pay it off over 6 years and this will grow your practice. If you buy, they will come. If you get a cone beam, if you get a CEREC, if you get this, if you get that. We had a dentist call us about a year and a half ago. I don't even know what the heck he was talking about. Somebody sold him this thing. I'd never heard of it before. I just called it the pain machine. He claimed there was this thing that you just hold it up to your patient's face, and whether they're having TMJ discomfort, whether they're having some kind of dental pain, tooth pain, any pain, you just hold it up to their face and it cures the pain. And he had to go down to Florida to take this weekend course, and this was going to save his practice. He thought people were going to flock for 100 miles around to come see his magical pain machine. And I talked to him about a year later, and he said nobody's come for his pain machine, and he's still making these payments month after month after month. Now, don't get me wrong. I have nothing against tech. I know that cone beams produce incredible images. I know that it's really cool if you can make your own crowns with a CEREC or any kind of milling machine and provide that fantastic service of one-day crowns. I know I love tech. All these things are great, but don't make the mistake of thinking that purchasing some high-tech equipment is going to grow your practice. It might make your life a little easier or a little more fun, possibly improve the quality of your dentistry, depending on it. That's debatable. Sometimes I've seen it go the other way and make your dental quality worse. But those kinds of things just generally do not attract patients. Now, if you can afford it, it's in your budget, and you want to make your office higher tech and do all that great stuff, fantastic. But it's very disheartening to me, and we see it all the time, when somebody contacts us and they want to find out about coaching or something else we do, and we start having an in-depth conversation with them and get into the nitty-gritty, and somebody hasn't taken a paycheck for 2 years, or they're making less money than their assistant, and they're paying off a cone beam and a CEREC and this and that. It's very disheartening. So again, I've got nothing against tech or great equipment, but don't think that these things will grow your practice. Here's something I like to say, kind of a tongue-in-cheek there, but I'll only get that crown if you can do it in one appointment. Said no one ever. Has anybody, have you ever told any patient they need a crown and they say to you, I'm only going to get it done here if you can do it in one appointment? No. And there's nothing against CEREC or the like, but it's not going to grow your practice. Okay, so that's dumb thing number one. If you buy it, they will come. Dumb thing number two, throw anyone with a pulse at the front desk. I cannot stress this enough. Dental hygienists, dental assistants, you are incredibly important. You are such a vital part of the team, and we really love the great job that you do. But, we're kind of all back there in the clinical area together, and we can help each other know what's going on. The front desk, it could be like another planet. And we don't know what the heck is going on up there. And sometimes we just want to put a warm body up at the front desk. Here's how you do it. Here's how you answer the phone. Here's a book of insurance codes. Go study them. Woo! All dental team members are important in their own way, but the front desk is kind of the conduit to the rest of the office. If you don't have a superstar, and I mean a superstar at the front desk, the great dentists and dental assistants and dental hygienists will not be treating all of the patients that they should be treating. You need to have a superstar at the front desk, somebody who's not only great with insurance and payments and all those things, but great with people and has the skills to convert a potential new patient into a real patient on the schedule, or as I like to say, get somebody off the phone and into the appointment book. Every practice I talk to says, oh yeah, our front desk person is great, they're great, blah, 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 blah. Well, let me tell you something. We do mystery shopper calls every week on our podcast, posing as just a typical new patient, asking questions like, do you take my insurance? How much do you charge for cleaning? Where are you located? The typical questions a potential new patient would ask. We do these mystery shopper calls. You can hear them every week on the Dental Practice Fixer. So if you're not listening, please listen. No charge, of course. Just go to your favorite podcast app and search for the Dental Practice Fixers, or go to Maddowcom/dental podcast. You can even watch them on YouTube if you're super brave. But we do these mystery shopper calls every week, and nobody gets it right. Nobody, and I mean nobody, gets the patient off the phone. And I don't try to mess them up. Just typical calls. Nobody can get the patient off the phone and into the appointment book. And everybody says, "Oh, we track every call, every new patient. We track every call. We know where they came from." But what most people don't track is the phone rings, patient asks a question, person in the front desk never gets them on the appointment book, hangs up. "Oh, that was just a shopper. Oh, that was this or that was that." And worst of all is when you have voicemail on. And I mean, voicemail should never be on during regular business hours. I don't care if you're at lunch. I don't care if your office is closed on Wednesdays. Regular business hours, you should always have a live person answering the phone. That right there, you're going to get more new patients, especially if they have the skills. So check out the podcast and you will absolutely, first of all, you'll have a good time. You'll laugh your butt off, but you will learn the skills, the front desk skills to get potential new patients off the phone and into the appointment book. So that is dumb thing number 2. Throw anyone with a pulse at the front desk. Front desk training is vital. So check that out, the Dental Practice Fixers podcast. We also have a free book if you want on some front desk skills. I think you can go to Maddowcom/profit. Profit, not profit like PROPHET. No, profit like PROFIT. So go check that out. You'll learn some things there, but you'll really learn a lot more from the podcast. So there you go. Dumb thing number 2. What is dumb thing number 3? What could that possibly be? Dumb thing number 3 is worrying way too much about new patients while leaving the back door wide open. Again, back to our experience helping other practices, because we've been doing this for close to 30 years. I'd say well over 50, 60, or maybe even well over 70% of the time, when somebody contacts the Maddow Center and they want some help with their practice, the number one thing they say is, "We need more new patients. We need more new patients." It's like this new patient fix. And believe me, I love new patients. We've got absolutely nothing against new patients. We help practices get new patients. It's great to have new patients. If you're not getting more new patients, your practice could be plateauing. So new patients are really, really important. But practices get so fixated on new patients, they get so hung up on the new patient fix that what do? They leave their back door wide open, meaning that they don't have procedures in place so that the patients that are already in your practice are being treated well and reappointed. And again, this is another thing that everybody says. If I say to you, what percentage of your patients are being reappointed? Or maybe what percentage of your patients that have been in the last 18 months, that's one definition of active patients, not necessarily mine, but many people say a patient has been in within the last 18 months is considered active. What percentage of your active patients have an appointment on the books for either hygiene or something restorative or whatever? And everybody says, "Oh, about 70 to 80% of our patients." Well, you know what? Again, we delve into this all the time. Most practices, it's way lower. I mean, I'm talking 30, 35% of active patients have an appointment on the books. That is unacceptable. So when we work with a practice, we do some data analysis. I'm just going to show you one chart. This is what a new patient versus attrition patient chart looks like. And this was just done very, very typical. So highlighted is December 2019. So you can see the blue where it goes above the center line. The blue are the amount of new patients coming in, either brand new patients or patients that kind of drifted away and were recaptured by the practice. I think that's a little generous to call them new, but we'll call them new. And then the red that goes underneath the center line are patients who have become inactive. These are patients that have dropped off the face of the earth. And as you can see, just about every month, this practice is doing a pretty decent job of getting new patients and even a somewhat decent job of recapturing patients. But what good is it when the red line goes deeper than the blue line goes up? Every single month, they're having more attrition than they are new patients. And this is extremely typical. In this case, they had a net loss in December 19. Just about every month on this chart, they had a net loss. And this is not just a weird thing that I picked as one chart to show you. This is very typical of most practices. This, again, it's like the front door, back door. We work so hard to get new patients, but just picture what happens. A big bus pulls up to your office, and all these patients get out of the bus, and they line up, and they all walk in the front door. And they're walking through your office kind of like it's a shotgun shack. And they might stop in the hygiene room. They might stop in the restorative room. But then they keep walking, and they just keep walking in single file, go right out the back door. That is what happens in so many practices. So again, new patients are great. We love new patients. We need new patients, but it's so much easier and so much cheaper to keep a patient in your practice who's already there. So you need the systems and protocols to keep your new patients, your existing patients in the practice and on the appointment book. Absolutely essential. We can do a chart like this for you if you're interested, and a gazillion other charts too. I love charts and graphs. I'm not a big data fan. When I see like a printout of data, like, your Eaglesoft or Dentrix prints out, my eyes glaze. But I love these charts. I don't know, maybe I'm like a third grader. They've got, nice colors and they're all laid out fun. It's like a little arts and crafts project. So we can do all kinds of charts like this for your practice to show you how the different things are going. And maybe you'll be pleasantly surprised and find out things are going incredibly well. So if you'd like us to do that for you, it's really easy. We can do what is called a snapshot. Just go to Maddowcom/snapshot, just like on your screen, Maddowcom/snapshot. And it's no charge, takes about 3 minutes of your time. And we run some pretty intense data analysis and show you all kinds of charts like that. So you can see your new patients versus attrition, percentage of patients in perio, treatment plan acceptance. My favorite's a pie chart that shows how many patients are being or have appointments like in a 6-month period, 12-month, 18-month, how many patients are actually reappointing. Just all kinds of great things you can learn about your practice. And that way you can see what's going really well and you can see where you need room to improve. Because let's face it, if you don't know the data, you don't know what you need to improve. And everybody says, oh, if I just had more new patients and more treatment plan acceptance, my practice will be fine. Yeah, it would be great if you have more new patients and more treatment plan acceptance, but usually there's a little bit more to it. So we'd be glad to help you with that. Again, no charge, no pressure, no obligation. That's not the way we are. Just go to Maddow.com/snapshot. We'll be glad to help you with that. Okay, this is fun. Let's keep rocking. Dumb thing number 4, having a practice that isn't calibrated. And I've talked about this in a few other webinars. So if you've heard it before, you're going to hear it again, but it's really, really important. You've got to have a practice that's calibrated. What does that mean, a practice that's calibrated? Well, here's the situation. Patients want information. They're inquisitive. They ask questions. There's an old phrase, there's no such thing as a dumb question, and I really believe that. But here's the thing. In so many practices, and I've observed this, I've sat, stood, whatever, in hundreds, if not 1,000 practices all across North America, watching, observing. And I know that when I'm in there, people are kind of putting on a show. They're at their best, right? But I've seen this so many times where a patient asks a question to the doctor and they get an answer. And then the assistant comes in and they ask the assistant, they get a different answer. Then they go up to the front desk and they ask the same question, they get a different answer. 3 different answers to the same question. You know why? Because that practice isn't calibrated and it's very confusing to the patient. They don't know which answer is right. They don't know who to trust. They don't know who to believe because the practice isn't calibrated. So it is essential that you calibrate your practice. How do you calibrate your practice? Well, here's how you do it. Call a team meeting. But before the team meeting, have everybody make a little, you could do it on index cards, whatever you want, of what we'll call the frequently asked questions, the FAQs, the questions that a typical patient would ask. It could be a potential new patient on the phone. That would be something like, how much do you charge for cleaning? Do you take my insurance? Or it could be a patient of record asking a question like, why do I need a crown? Why are your fees so high? Why didn't it hurt before you did the filling? I've actually done a webinar on this exact thing, how to answer all these difficult, all the questions. So make a list of all these difficult questions the patients ask. Then call a meeting. And you're not going to maybe review 20 questions, but maybe at this meeting you'll review 2 or 3 questions. Ask the questions. And then together as a team, come up with the best answer, the answer that will explain in very simple to understand terms to the patient what the answer to their question is, and an answer that moves the patient towards treatment, something that will get them excited about making an appointment or having treatment. So that's the best answer. Answers their question in a simple form and then moves them towards treatment or towards making an appointment. Then everybody in the practice will agree on the answer to the question. And then what do? You write down your answer and you practice, practice, practice. Just like the old question, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, man, practice. How do you calibrate your practice? Practice, man. Practice for your practice to calibrate your practice. Now, does that mean that you want you and your team members to be spitting out these answers robotically, word for word? Absolutely not. That's horrible. That's like, like poorly reading from a teleprompter. You don't want to do that. I think you can tell at our webinars, I'm not reading from a teleprompter. When somebody's reading from a teleprompter, you can tell it sounds very scripted and structured, and they're making like awkward pauses. No, it's got to be in your own style, in your own lingo. Every person, every team member or doctor doesn't have to use the exact same words, but we're going to have the exact same kind of vibe or feel to the answer. So practice, practice, practice. So next time a patient asks you a question like, why are your fees so high? Why do I need a crown? Do you take my insurance? Especially like a patient that is in some kind of plan that you don't take. You're going to have a fantastic answer to this question, and it's going to be the same answer. Your practice will be calibrated. I believe if you go to our website, Maddowcom, somewhere on there, maybe Sylvia can type it in the little comment box. Somewhere on there, you can look for some of our past webinars. And I did a webinar on how to answer difficult questions that patients ask. So this will give you a great idea of some typical questions, some great answers, and how to calibrate. There are only 10 of them on there. You might have 50, but at least you'll have a really good feel for how this is done. So make sure your practice is calibrated. And then we'll go to dumb thing number 5, not using specialized professionals. Would you go to a Chinese restaurant where they serve lo mein and they do web design and they also do tree removal? That makes no sense. Why would you do that? Well, sometimes as dentists, we always want to get like a good deal on something, or maybe we just don't know any better. And we use a professional who's not a specialized professional. By that, I mean, so many people in different professions. Well, for example, let's just say that you need a new website, or maybe you don't have a website. I'm amazed at how many dentists actually don't have websites. It's mind-blowing, but there are still tons of dentists out there without websites. So you decide you're going to go to a web designer, and then your cousin says to you, my best friend's nephew, he's great with computers. He's done some websites before. Oh, I'll probably get a good deal. How bad could he be? And you go to this person and you get a website done. Or maybe you go to a really professional, great website company, but they've never done dental websites before, or they don't specialize in dental websites. Oh yeah, we've done 3 or 4 dental websites. Well, let me tell you something. They don't know anything about dental websites if that's what they tell you. So in every different specialty, and I'll give you some examples in a second, there are people who are dedicated to dentistry. They know the ins and outs of dentistry. Now, when I'm talking about dumb things, I said before, I've done all these dumb things. Woo, I violated this rule so many times that I learned the hard way. But I'm going to tell you, always use specialized professionals. I'll give you some examples of professionals that we all use from time to time, and we'll talk about how to use specialized ones. For example, your accountant. Don't just say an accountant is an accountant is an accountant. If you're going to an accountant and they've got, a few restaurants as clients, and maybe they've got, a local retail business, and they've got a florist, and they got a funeral home. Well, they don't know anything about dentistry. It's not true that, oh yeah, I can do a tax. I know how to do a business tax return. A dental practice is no different. It's just simply not true. Your accountant should know the ins and outs of dentistry, what your overhead should be, what a crown fee should be, what percentage of your overhead should go to your team, how much a hygienist earns, all those things. If you go to an accountant that specializes in dentistry and does only dentist or mostly dentist, they should know all of those things. So use a specialized professional. An attorney, same thing. You're going to buy or sell a practice. You're going to hire an associate. You're an associate who's going to take a job. This is one of the most important decisions that you're ever going to make. You can't just go to a regular business attorney. You've got to go to an attorney that knows dentists, knows dentistry, has done dental contracts a million times. Investment advisor. Yeah, why does an investment advisor have to know dentists? Well, same thing I just said. If they don't, they need to know your whole financial picture. They need to know about your practice overhead and what you're spending on this and spending on that before they really develop a retirement plan for you. There are several great companies that specialize in this. Dentist Advisors is one of them, so check it out. But there are a ton. So sorry, I've got a cough drop going, so I'm already getting a dry throat from doing all this talking. There are investment advisors that only work with dentists, and that's who you should go to. Web design, I already mentioned that. Your SEO, your pay-per-click marketing, again, this person needs to know dentistry because they have to know all about keywords. They have to know about competitive dentists. They have to know a ton of things So when you're talking about doing some SEO pay-per-click marketing, do somebody that specializes in dentistry. Now, I had a little teaser for this webinar that I'm going to give you one tip that could save you up to $100,000. And I am not kidding. And this is a dumb thing that I've done. Most dentists, when they lease their office space, the landlord gives them a lease. They look at the lease. Oh, yeah, it looks good. Maybe they even have their uncle who's an attorney look at it. Oh, take out this clause, take out that one, change that one, boom, and they sign it. You may not know there's a such thing as lease negotiators, and you don't pay them. You don't have to pay them. They do it, and the landlord pays them. It's all the landlord sets money aside in their fee structure to pay a lease negotiator because they know if they lease to one of the big boys like I don't know Chipotle or national accounting firm or whatever, that these companies come in with lease negotiators, and dentists do also. It doesn't matter that you're just one little solo business that will never be as big as most of the businesses around you. You can use a professional lease negotiator. So let's say that your practice is 2,500 square feet, very typical practice, and you sign a 10-year lease. A lease negotiator can easily save you $3 a square foot. So 2,500 times 3, 7,500. You can save $7,500 a year. Multiply that times your 10-year lease, $75,000. Where's the other 25? Well, lease negotiators can do great things. They can get you a few months free bonus for signing. They can get the landlord to do a big build out, do all these different things, plumb your operatories, make it perfect for dental practice. They'll pay for all this stuff. You don't have to pay for that. So use a professional lease negotiator that specializes in dentistry. You can easily save $100,000 over 10 years. No kidding. I've made this mistake. Then I learned and I didn't make the mistake anymore. So don't do it. We'd be glad to recommend people in each of these lists if you want. So just send us an email, info@Maddowcom. If you want to know, for example, the name of a lease negotiator that specializes or does only dentistry, we'll be glad to pass that info along to you. So just give us a shout, info@Maddowcom if you want to work with a specialized professional and you would like one of our recommendations. Okay, got a few more dumb things coming up. We're going to talk about the #1 treatment planning mistake, an essential thing that many dentists lose focus on. Don't let dollars get in the way of, yes, a mistake that has bankrupted many docs, the most important equation. And then, since dumb things can sound a little negative, we're going to wrap it up with 10 smart things. It'll kind of be a recap of everything we've learned tonight, but we'll do 10 smart things. Before we do that, so hang on, you don't want to miss the next 5 dumb things and then learn about 10 smart things. I just want to clue you in, to something really cool that's coming up at the Maddow Center. We're going to have another small group coaching session on January 20th. Now, I know some of you told me you're actually attending this webinar because you want to find out about the next small group coaching session. If you've been to some of our webinars before, you might know that we always announce our small group coaching sessions first on the webinars before we announce them to our entire list, because you took time out of your evening. You're a more kind of dedicated person to us, and we love you more because you're on our webinars. So we tell you about our small group coaching sessions before we tell anyone. This is the very first announcement, January 20th at 8 p.m. We're going to have the next of our small group coaching sessions. Now, this idea was something that came out of the pandemic, because we used to do something live here at our beautiful home office in downtown Baltimore, Maryland, or as they say it around here, Baltimore, Maryland. And people were flying from all over the country. We'd spend the whole day together in a small group, maybe 8 dentists, maybe 10 dentists. Some would bring their spouse or significant other or office manager or whatever. And they'd be fantastic sessions. But the pandemic hit. We couldn't do them anymore. And we came up with the idea, why not do them virtually? I don't know. Will it work? Will it be the same? Well, we weren't sure, but we did it. And the first one was such a huge success, easy for you to say, that now every couple months or so, we do another small group coaching session. Every one of them sells out. I say sell out in quotes because they're no charge, but every one of them fills up. We do have limited attendance. What happens at the small group coaching session? A small group of docs get together and we all introduce ourselves and we talk about what's going great in our practices, and we talk about some challenges that we're having in our practices. And it's really cool. And then some members of our coaching team are on there. I'm on there. and we'll just chit chat about the issues that you're having in your practice, and we'll give some advice, and we'll brainstorm, and we'll learn from one another. And it's all completely confidential, and anything goes, and you will learn some incredible tips to learn how to grow your practice. And we've got some camaraderie. You hear from other dentists in different parts of the continent and learn what's going on in their practices, and we help one another. These sessions are incredible. So if you want to sign up for January 20th, they're in the evening. They last about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, but we try to keep them to an hour and a half. They usually start at 8 p.m., just like our webinars. You can go to Maddowcom/group. I do want to let you know that this is for dentists only who own their own practices. You've got to be a dentist and you have to own your own practice. This is not a team event. I see somebody asked that. It's a fantastic question, Ron. It's not a team event. It's a very intimate event where we talk about things that we might not even want to hear our team members do. I got to tell you, one of the frequent things that people talk about is issues with their team. So this is for dentists only who own their own practices. If you want to have a spouse or significant other join you, you're certainly welcome to. If you want to have a very key team member, if there's like a true office manager in your practice, somebody that really runs the show, you can have your true office manager on there as well, but it's not typically a team event. So anyway, that's my special announcement for tonight. Go to Maddowcom/group to sign up. They usually sell out really quickly. Or if you want to just send a private message to Sylvia on the chat box, you can do that as well, and she'll get you signed up. But the easiest thing to do is go to Maddow.com/group. You don't have to go right this minute. I'll guarantee anybody on the webinar that signs up can get a space. But if you want to, go ahead. It's okay. We'll fill you in later on what you missed. So small group coaching session, January 20th at 8 p.m. It should be amazing because we've had 5 or 6 of these since the pandemic broke, and they've all been great. Okay, let's move on to dumb thing number 6, and that is trying to sell dentistry. Trying to sell dentistry instead of establishing the relationship of confidence and trust. You know, I see all these courses out there, and look, I've been on the speaking circuit for over 20 years. We've run, we've had our TBSE for 25 years where we hire the best dental speakers from all over the world. So I know all these guys and gals on the speaking circuit. And most of them are really great people with fantastic knowledge to share. They definitely help people. And I really, really respect and love most of the people in the dental speaking circuit. But one thing I cannot stand is when somebody says they're going to teach you how to sell dentistry, and here's how you do it. And you sit face to face with that patient and you say this. And if they say that, you say this. And if they say that, you respond with this. You always got to be ready to combat or counter anything they say. And then at the very end, you say something like, is there any reason that you don't want to schedule this crown today? Is there any reason? And you look like that guy in the plaid jacket. You can't sell dentistry. That does not exist. And I've got nothing against car salesmen, but selling a car is different. If you want to get a Toyota Corolla, it's going to be the same car dealership number 1 as it is at dealership number 2, and the dealer knows that, and they know that they've got to say something right there, then and there, to entice you, to get you to sign on the line right that day, and they're going to make the sale. And it doesn't matter about the car, because you can get the same dealership, the same car at the dealership across town. It's a completely different thing. Selling dentistry is so personal. It's so intimate. I mean, we're talking about doing a procedure on a patient that they think is going to hurt. We're dealing with one of the most intimate parts of their body. They're going to be uncomfortable with their mouth wide open. It's going to cost them a S-load of money. Everybody knows this. You can't sell something like that under pressure. And these courses just drive me crazy when they talk about throwing this big treatment plan in front of somebody and then sitting at the desk staring at them, trying to pressure them into signing on the line. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. You should never, ever feel like you're selling dentistry. Dentistry is something that a patient agrees to getting because you've established a relationship of confidence and trust. They have to like you, they have to respect you, and most of all, they have to appreciate your skills and know that they're in the right hands. So, and I've got some great comments here. Kyle Hines said number 6 is gold. I appreciate that. Daniel Hodges, you only made these comments to panelists, so the attendees can't see them. Dan Hodges said, trust is not gained in one appointment. Get to know your patients first. Daniel, that advice is it's so true. You cannot have a patient in for an exam and then throw all this treatment at them. Your patients have to really, really like you. They have to respect you, and they have to have confidence in your skills. Now, if we're talking about a small procedure, just like a crown, so you need this crown because there's decay under the filling. I love a simple approach like, hey, Jim, I know what the problem is, and we can fix it and make this tooth better. Here's how we're going to do it. When you're ready, we're here for you. We can, you can appoint for it, whatever. And that's just a kind of off the cuff thing. But my main point is, you can't rush your relationship with a patient. You've got to be truly interested in them, really care about them, and really care about their health. Don't even think about the money or the fact that you've got a hole in your schedule tomorrow. Think about how you're going to help this person achieve better health, and that kind of oozes through out of every pore, and they can feel it. They can feel a sell job, and they can feel confidence and trust. So that's getting some great comments here. So we're talking about confidence and trust. Again, I could do a whole hour on this. We're not going to do that today, but that's dumb thing number 6. Dumb thing number 7, not dancing with Hoobran yet. Jeez, I cannot tell you how many dentists have come up to me with some kind of great business idea. I'm going to get involved in this multi-level marketing. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to open up a side business or a side hustle. No. Dentistry is what if you want to do that as a hobby or to have some fun, go ahead. But if you're really concerned about maximizing your income, there are very, very few dentists that have the opportunity to maximize their income more if they don't dance with Hoobran. That means dentistry is Hoobran. Having a fantastic practice, doing high quality treatment on your patients is Hoobran. And don't forget that. And people also get distracted by doing these kind of side hustle procedures. I'll use one as an example. And I got to tell you, I have nothing against this treatment. I love this treatment. We've actually co-sponsored courses about treating sleep apnea. And I think treating sleep apnea is a fantastic service. I love it. But we've had dentists take these courses, and then they think that the next month they're going to be having a sleep apnea only practice because, they got this hard sell. Oh, if only 40% of your patients who snore get the appliance and blah, 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 blah. It just doesn't work that way. Treating sleep apnea is fantastic, but what brought you? What brought you to dentistry? What brought you to your income? It's, the basic stuff. It's the endocorin crown. It's perioscaling. It's implant, abutment, crown, or even referring out the implant and doing the abutment in the crown. These are the bread and butter procedures. It could be 3 composites in 1 quadrant. I don't care. These are the bread and butter procedures that will bring you. So remember, dentistry is what brought you, not some crazy MLM that Kyle wants to talk to me about. Not some crazy business venture that's going to, take off, because it's not going to. Dentistry is who brought you, and the bread and butter procedures are the things that are going to take it home for you. So don't forget that. Oh, by the way, if you want to get in touch with us, it's really easy. A couple ways here. Our website is Maddow.com. We're getting some great advice on the chat room, but so many people are just saying it to the panelists and not the panelists and attendees. My friend Dan just gave a great tip. Don't get distracted by the profit. Treat your patient like they are your mom. The money will come in. Unless you hate your mom, then don't do that. So again, our website's Maddow.com. Here's our phone number if you want to be really old-fashioned and call us. If you want to join our Facebook group, it's called The Dental Place. This is for docs and team members. It's kind of the gentle, peaceful place. We don't allow trolls and flames and people calling each other idiots. It's just a great place to ask questions, get advice, share your knowledge. We even do some fun things on there. No mean stuff's allowed like on every other Facebook group. So go to Facebook, search for The Dental Place. Our podcast, I already told you about. All these things are no charge, of course. Our podcast, The Dental Practice Fixers. Just go to your favorite podcast app and search, or YouTube, search for The Dental Practice Fixers, or go to Maddow.com/dentalpodcast. If you want to send us an email, info@Maddow.com. We answer all of our emails. Info@Maddow.com will absolutely get you to the right person in our company. And I'll be brave. If you want to email me directly, please do. Rich@Maddow.com, RICH@Maddow.com. So that is some great ways to get in touch with us. Let's move on to another dumb thing. Ooh, this one drives me crazy. Again, I've visited hundreds, if not thousands of practices, and I always see this. Overcomplicating the patient payments, describing 10 different things, pressuring the patient to pay. Oh, and now look, I am a big believer that payment is due on or before, in full, on the day of the procedure, or preferably before the procedure. But that doesn't mean you have to make things complicated. I've seen people talk to these patients about some kind of crazy schemes they have, taking 20 minutes to explain care credit. Don't make it complicated. My favorite presentation for care credit is 5 seconds. Your treatment will be $2,400. We've got a fantastic option for you, 12 months, interest-free. That would just be $200 a month. Is that something that would interest you? Boom, 5 seconds, then just wait. Don't overcomplicate patient payments and finances. Care Credit's got this really cool thing now. It's this little patient payment form. Talk to your Care Credit rep and make sure you have this form in your office. It spells everything out in black and white. Just look at that total treatment amount. $1,500 is going to be covered by insurance, so the patient owes $3,500. Then it just breaks it down simply, as you can see towards the bottom. If you want to pay over 12 months, 18 months, or 24 months, these will be your payments. Which works best for you? Please use this form. It also gives them the chance for cash, check, credit card. It's so easy. The patient can see it in black and white. You don't have to talk for 20 minutes to confuse them. So ask your Care Credit rep about this form. Really, really great, great part of your, I'll use a real dental term, great part of your armamentarium. That's a great part of your armamentarium, sir, ma'am. Put this in your armamentarium. I don't have an armamentarium. I don't know about you. Okay, anyway, that's our dumb thing. Number 9. Whew. This is actually something that I'm glad to say I didn't learn this the hard way. I remember, sorry, got my dry throat cough drop while I was talking. When I was doing my residency at beautiful Mount Sinai Medical Center in Miami Beach, Florida, one of the attendings was this young guy. And I think he took me out to lunch one day, and I got in his Mercedes-Benz, and I said, wow, it's a beautiful car. And he said, you know what? This is the dumbest thing I ever did. He said, I graduated dental school, finished my residency, got a practice. 2 years in, I've got a boat, I've got a Mercedes, I've got a nice house. He said, I'm in debt once again. Don't live the dental lifestyle unless you can truly, truly afford it. Look, I've got nothing against beautiful houses, nice cars, fancy vacations. Those things are great, whatever your hobbies are. I mean, you know, I don't care if you're buying a $10,000 guitar or, you know, $8,000 worth of fishing gear, whatever it is you love doing. I don't care. I'm not saying to be cheap and deprive yourself. But what I'm saying is, don't, just because you're a dentist, don't think that you deserve this dental lifestyle. I mean, I remember meeting with a practice a few years ago, and the dentist was saying to me, where's my boat? Where's my car? Where's my pool? All these things. I'm thinking, well, you're not earning enough money to buy that stuff yet. So again, this is something you can discuss with your financial advisor. If you are spending less than you earn and you're maximizing your retirement plan, putting away all the money you can pre-tax, and you've got money left over, play with it. Have a great time. Go get a Tesla with the best sound system ever made. I don't care what you do, but don't do it if you can't afford it. So spend less than you earn. Have your savings plan and your retirement plan set up. Plan for other expenses, you know, whatever it is, college for the kids, weddings, I don't know, whatever it is. And then spend the rest and have fun. But don't think just because you're a dentist, you should be living the dental lifestyle. Okay, I'm going to rock through because I want to end by 9 o'clock here on the East Coast, 6 o'clock on the West. Just want to remind you real quickly again, small group coaching session. These things are fabulous. They're intimate. We talk about everything. We brainstorm. We learn about you and your practice. Some members of our coaching team will be on there. We share advice. They're incredible. They're for practice owners only. So go to Maddowcom/group, and we'd love to see you on our next small group coaching session. They really are life-changing sessions for some people. I've had several people come up to me and say, that was like the turning point. I went to your small group coaching session. We got involved more with the Maddow Center. We're using you now for our one-on-one coaching, and the practice is doing better than ever. And my stress is down, and my life is more fun. So, love to see you at the small group coaching session. Okay, dumb thing number 10. This might be my favorite. Oh, and reminder again, speaking of dumb things, if you're not using Fat Merchant for your credit card processing, what? McFly, you're losing money every month because they don't charge an overage percentage, just a low flat monthly fee. We do it at the Maddow Center. We've got hundreds of dental practices across the country using it. You should too. Maddowcom/save. You will save money every single month. Okay, dumping number 10, and then we're going to do 10 smart things. So don't go anywhere. Dumping number 10, having a negative happiness equation. This is a phrase that was, I think, coined by Dr. Paddy Lund. He's known as the crazy Australian dentist. I'm glad to say he's my friend. We met many, many years ago. He wrote a book called Building the Happiness-Centered Business, which was for all businesses, but since he's a dentist, it was from a dental perspective. And one of his great observations is that so many dentists have a negative happiness equation. What does that mean, a negative happiness equation? It means that you're going to this job every day that you don't like, so you can earn enough money to have fun on the weekends when you're not in your practice. So you're stressing out, hating life 4 days a week, 5 days a week, so you can have fun those other days. But then those days are stressful too, because you've got the Sunday night blues. Sunday comes around and you're dreading work Monday morning. If you've got the Sunday night blues, that is a sure sign you have a negative happiness equation. Why be unhappy at work just to make yourself happy on the days you're not at work? Wouldn't it be much easier if you were also happy at work? So then every day you can enjoy your days off, and you can enjoy your days at the dental office. Wouldn't that be fantastic? That'll be having a positive happiness equation. It is essential. Now, I'm not saying that occasionally we don't have a crappy day in the dental office. Of course we do. That's the real world. That's realistic. But in general, you should enjoy going in every single day. And that way you won't have a negative happiness equation. So don't have the Sunday night blues. I'm going to give you just a few tips on how to start overcoming a negative happiness equation. Now, granted, I'm not saying this is the answer, but I'm saying this is a start. And it involves having a positive, fun atmosphere in your office. I cannot tell you how many practices I've been to where there's always laughter and fun and camaraderie and everybody gets along. And those practices have a positive happiness equation. In my kind of anecdotal experience, they also earn more money. But let's start with having a great atmosphere in your office. How do you do it? Again, this is going to sound like kindergarten, I swear, but it's really true. I'm going to start by saying use the politeness strategy. And that means, doctor, I'm talking to you, docs, when you ask your team members for things, I don't care if it's a, cotton pellet or if you ask them to do, clean the bathroom, whatever it is. I'm going to sound like a kindergarten teacher, but I really mean this. Always say please and thank you. Always say please and thank you. I don't care if it's to your assistant during a procedure. I don't care if you're going into the hygiene room to check a patient. Please and thank you for everything, and mean it. Don't say it like it's a joke. Be polite. Always say please and thank you. Greetings and farewells. I am so serious about this, and I hardly see it in any other practice. In my practice, now currently I'm not practicing, but for many, many years, I had a really successful practice with a large team. And every morning, I made sure that I said hello, whether if I was usually the first one in. So as people came in, or if I wasn't the first one in, I'd walk all around the office. Greetings to every single person in the office. Hey, Sylvia, how's it going? Great to see you. And a little chit chat about whatever, did you catch that movie last night? Or how about those Ravens, as we say here in Baltimore, because we're going to crush the Titans on Sunday. But whatever it is, greetings to every person. And then as people leave, as they file out one at a time, or if you're the first one to leave, go around and say goodbye and a sincere thank you to every single person in your practice. Because docs, let's face it, if you own the practice, you're stuck there. You can't leave. But your team members, they could quit and get a job the next week. Geez, dental team members, man, they are in demand. So thank them for being there. Thank them for doing a great job. Thank them for doing such a fantastic job with Mrs. Smith, that patient who had trouble opening or was crying or whatever, or for keeping that kid out of trouble who was about to destroy your reception room, whatever it is. Thank them every day. Hello, goodbye, and thank you to every single team member. And I mean it. I feel like a kindergarten teacher here, but I really mean this. You cannot start the day in chaos. If the doctor's coming in at 9:05 and the first patient is scheduled at 9, your day is chaos. I don't care what you say. You can't start that way. Everybody needs to be in at least 30 minutes before the first patient. I prefer 1 hour to get things straightened out. And you need to have a well-organized huddle at least 30 minutes before the first patient. If you're not sure how to do this, get in touch with us. One of our coaches can send you some great information on how to have a well-organized morning huddle, but I really mean this. You need to do it. An atmosphere of respect and appreciation, and every team member has to pass the seating chart rule. You know, look at your team. Are they a staff? A staff, that's people who work for you. If you've got a staff, that's people who work for you that are coming in to get a paycheck. If you have a team, we're all working together for the same common goal. And if you've got a family, we respect each other. We love each other. We're ready to see each other at their worst and be supportive. That's our family. That's why I'm saying every person in your office should pass the seating chart rule. What the heck is the seating chart rule? Well, I'll tell you a quick story. I don't know if I'm going to be able to end by 9 o'clock exactly, but it'll be darn close to that, or wherever you are. I'm on Eastern time. Many years ago, Dave and I were preparing for our annual Maddowcom Center holiday dinner, where we take everybody out to a nice restaurant. It could be Ruth's Chris, or if you're a Baltimorean, you'll know this restaurant, Tio Pepe, one of our favorite local great places. So we take everybody out to a nice restaurant. In the old days, when we didn't really have a family or a team, but we just had a staff, Dave and I used to get there early and put out place cards. Well, why do we put out place cards? Because, well, we can't sit Gina next to Sally. They're not getting along. Oh no, we can't seat Dolores next to Henrietta because they're not getting along. And then we seat ourselves. Oh, I don't want to sit next to Linda. Ugh, can't stand her. You should be able to want to sit next to anybody in your office at a holiday dinner, at a party, whatever. If there's somebody that's working with you that you wouldn't even want to sit next to at a holiday dinner, what the heck are they doing in your practice? If you're hiring somebody and you interview someone and you say, well, you know, they're probably a good dental assistant, but I don't think I'd want to hang out with them or sit next to them at the next holiday dinner. They don't pass the seating chart rule. So if you want to have a team and a family, everybody's got to pass the seating chart rule. That's dumb thing number 10. We still have a little bit more to go. I'm going to rip through these really quickly. 10 smart things, and it's kind of a recap of everything we learned tonight. So let's end with 10 smart things. When considering the purchase of equipment or anything else, weigh the true return on investment, not what some slick salesperson tells you. Do you think that person selling you a cone beam or a crown milling machine really cares about the profits it's going to bring you in your practice? Or do they really care that you're going to be leasing it and they're going to get paid no matter what? That's all they care about. I have nothing against high tech. I have nothing against great equipment and advanced procedures, but weigh the true return on investment. And if somebody tells you, oh, this X piece of tech is going to bring in 20 more new patients per month, I'm calling BS right now. That's just not the way it works. Number 2, put a superstar at your front desk. And of course, supply the proper training. Smart thing number 3, shut that back door. Get off the new patient fix. We love new patients, but you've got patients in your practice right now without appointments. You need a good reactivation protocol. Many practices have $1 million file cabinet, $1 million worth of treatment that's been diagnosed and discussed with the patients that's never been performed. You need a great system and protocol for that too. So get your new patients, absolutely, but shut that back door. Number 4, get calibrated. Call a series of team meetings to get your practice truly calibrated. Hopefully you were here when I talked about the dumb things, so you know what calibration means. So get your practice calibrated with a team meeting or a series of team meetings. Number 5, make sure that your team of professional advisors truly understands the needs of dentists. Your accountant, your attorney, your web designer, your SEO pay-per-click person, your financial advisor, your lease negotiator should all specialize in dentistry. And if you need some recommendations, send us an email at info@maddowcom and we will try to hook you up. Smart thing number 6, don't sell dentistry. That doesn't work. You got to foster an atmosphere of confidence and trust. And that way the patients will absolutely want to have the dentistry that you've diagnosed done right there in your office. Smart thing number 7, dance with Hoobran. Your best chance for profits, for happiness, and for success are sticking with your bread and butter dentistry, the procedures that you know and love that you can do. Don't get hung up on some crazy procedure that you're going to become a weekend warrior and learn how to do this and then only do 3 cases and say, it really didn't work out. Or worst of all, some kind of side hustle outside of dentistry, some MLM or investment. Dance with who brung you. Smart thing number 8, make it comfortable. Well, I lost my slide there. Make it easy and comfortable for your patients to pay. Talk to your care credit rep. Get that fantastic form that I showed you about. Check out Fat Merchant. It's so easy and comfortable for your patients to use charge cards when you've got these touch-free terminals, and you'll save money every month. So I know somebody earlier asked for the information. Just go to Maddow.com/save, Maddow.com/SAVE. Find out how to use Fat Merchant in your practice. Smart thing number 9, spend less than you earn and have a structured savings plan. Self-explanatory. And number 10, have a positive happiness equation. Get rid of that negative happiness equation. No more Sunday night blues. No more, thank God it's Friday. Forget all that stuff. Work hard to make your happiness equation positive. And it is coming up on 9:02 here on the East Coast, 8:02 Central, 7:02 Mountain, 6:02 Pacific, which means I'm just about to sign off. If you want to get in touch with us, Maddow.com, there's our phone number. Go to our Facebook group called The Dental Place. Just go to Facebook and search for The Dental Place. It's really fun. Boom, kaboom. Dental Practice Fixers. Info@Maddow.com gets to our team. And if you want to email me personally, rich@Maddow.com. And there you have it. Dumb things that smart dentists do. Oh, we are getting some really, really nice comments. Thank you so much. I love this one. Love your casual style, positive. Whoop, I lost it. That's really kind. Casual, positive, happiness equation. Thank you, Dr. Klein. Most of these are coming to panels only, so the attendees can't see them, but I really appreciate all the thanks. I got to tell you, and I say this after a lot of these webinars, and I'm really, really serious about this. There's so many educational offerings out there of varying quality, but whatever you do, whenever you take a webinar or seminar, you are choosing to spend an hour of your time. And I really, really appreciate that you chose to spend your hour of time with me. I say that with the most sincerity. You could have been doing a million other things. So I hope you learned something. I hope it was fun. I hope I've inspired you to go out and do better, have a better experience for your patients, for your team, for you, and of course, I want you to earn more money. If you want to learn anything else that wasn't on here, just send us an email to info@Maddow.com. And again, I really, really, truly appreciate that you chose to spend this time with me. I'd love to see you at the small group session. Go to Maddow.com/group if you're a practice owner. And I'm just going to say that that's going to be it for tonight. I'm Dr. Richard Maddow. I am co-founder of the Maddow Center for Dental Practice Success. And thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I truly appreciate it.